Hey guys and girls, DarkBenji151. We're going to do a little slow roll video of an order that I'm about to send in. And some of these cards I just got in the mail, so when you get a card in the mail and then you send it off like one day later, you feel like you never saw it. You feel like you never owned it, it wasn't real. So let's take a look. I want to do a technical video of some things so I can guess what the grades were basically. So that's why I have them propped up and like the camera really close up. The biggest thing on these is centering. So this is a Hidden Fates Beckett GX, obviously. The centering on this, and I don't know if I'll say this for all of them. I think this could get a 10 centering, but let's look at the back. I really can't speak for the, let's look at the edges real quick. Well, let's stick with the centering. I think the centering is good. I was going to say if it's good enough on the back to get a 10 if the front is good, but that might knock it down to a 9.5 because it's clearly heavy up here. But there are different restrictions on the back for centering. It can be more off. I do want to look at some of the... Let's look. See if I can get it. Yeah. It's very hard to see, and hopefully you don't see anything because I'm looking at the edging here. First of all, when you look at these things, especially on these cut cards, you have to look at the edges, not just the surface edges, because that's where it'll get you a lot, especially on the etched cards. But, I'm trying to keep it in focus and see it at the same time. This doesn't have, I'm not really seeing much on this. So I really like, let's see if I can get these things in focus. Sometimes it's easier just to look at the surface edges and then kind of see if you see anything and then investigate further from there. This card's pretty clean. I think this has a shot at a Beckett 10 with a 9.5 centering, so that's my thing. So, and I can't judge the surface because rarely can we ever find the surface grades on these things. So I'm going to say that's a 9.5 plus 3, which would make it a 10. We'll see if it comes back a 10. All right, next one. Let's look at our good friend Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos and Articuno, sorry. The centering on this card is tricky because I've noticed this card has a tiny less amount of gray space, silver space on the edges. It's like they poofed it out a little more because of maybe this thingy up here, revelos, I forgot what it is in English, but I don't know. I think this centering is going to be a 9.5 because I don't think it's perfect. The card looks great. I can't say that I see if I see any edging. I'm gonna look, so if the camera gets weird more, don't blame me. The edging looks particularly good. Like I don't see any bite marks on this that I've seen on other cards. I don't know. That's a solid, and the background, or excuse me, the back centering looks fantastic. So I'd say that's a 9.5. If I, the only thing I can tell, like obviously that's not a 10 is centering. So I don't know. I'm saying it's a 9.5 at least. Next card. We have Ninetales and Alolan Ninetales. This is a card I really was glad I pulled. This one, the centering is pushed down a little. And it may not look like a lot, but it is when you're talking about these because the borders are tight. It's not like a WotC card where you see a lot of yellow on either side. You can tell, well, I can tell, that the centering is pushed down. If you look on the back, you can often tell in these cards. and it's pushed to the left. So I think that's a solid 9.5. It's just gonna maybe get a 9 centering. Just trying to be honest with myself. Not every card's a 10 sort of thing, especially at Beckett 10. My gosh. Let me try to get that in focus. I don't see any bite marks on the top, which is usually where the bite marks are, like along these ridges. So these were cut really exceptionally well. And I'm also sending in the ones that were cut well. So there's tons of that weren't cut well. So I think this gets a 9.5 and it's 9 centering. Let's see what happens. Next one. All right, we have a beautiful Jesse and James. I've sent off a lot of these. This one, I really love the centering on this one. I remember loving the centering. It could get a 10 centering, which is one of the biggest deals for getting a 10. Because it's often something we don't look at. Looking at the top edges here, the bottom edge. It looks fantastic. I mean, I remember being really excited pulling this one because it looked just flawless. Let's see. I mean, it just looks beautiful. I can't see anything. Now let's look at the back. I like these technical videos because it kind of, I don't know, they say like, oh, I should have looked before I did that, you know? Like before I sent it. Because that wasn't there. Well, sometimes it is. So I look back at old cards and I'm like, oh yeah, that was there. So, to me, this looks fantastic. The centering on the back certainly looks 10 worthy for the back. I think it's, I mean, that to me maybe looks a pixel to the left. But besides that, I mean, that for back centering, that's almost indiscernibly like to the left. Maybe a tiny bit. I think that's going to be a 10. I think this card's going to be a 10. So I'm really excited about this one. If I had to guess, I mean, they can always find like an edge notch, or they can always find something. But that's going to be exciting to come back at 10. I would never, ever, my wildest dreams, say a black label 10. Oh, I just said it, but it could be. You never know. All right, we got Scyther here. I was really happy to pull this one. I pulled 3 of these, I think, in all my spendings. This looks really good. The centering is definitely not 10. You can tell, like, this corner down here is certainly thinner than up here. So, I mean, it's just not 10 centering. It might be, like, kind of on an axis good, but not really. I would say it's pushed to the right and down. So that might be 9 centering, might be 9.5. I don't see any, like, chips in here or anything like that. So that's really good. It definitely has a chance at a 9.5 or more. Centering is really the only thing I see on here. I don't see if I see any edging stuff. I'm going to pretend that you guys are looking at this. Yeah, I don't see anything. Often this corner, with cut, you can often see like the same errors over and over again. The tiny bit of fraying there. I don't think they would dock that. Like if the rest of the card, I truly believe the rest of the card is perfect, they would dock that so it's not a black label. But I think because, like, I definitely have that mentality where, like, they will definitely make sure it doesn't go out of black label if there's something. But if there's the tiniest error elsewhere, they might let that go. Or they might let it be a 9.5. Like, this is an easy 9.5. But 10, that'd be a tough 10. All right, let's go to the next one. Thanks for sticking around, by the way. These are the videos I like to do. But, I don't know. It requires concentration and, you know, actually caring and stuff. This one, I think it's a Gablite. I mean, this one I think I'm sending in because I think it's possibly a 10 or better, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's centering. I think it's ever so slightly pushed up. Let's look on the back, because I'll pull a card. I will pull a card. Looking at that, let's look. I found something. Yeah, that bottom right has like a tiny. Sometimes these have like yeah, that's exactly what it is. Sometimes the material goes over. It's not like a notch. The material actually goes out more. And some, I don't think they count that sometimes. They might count it like a 10 level. If it's the difference between being like perfect and not perfect, of course. But this is a solid. I think I sent in a Garchomp and a Gabite before, and that's the reason I'm sending this in to get the whole line. That looks good. That's definitely 9.5 material. Definitely, possibly a 10, but that's a tough 10. Everything's a tough 10. Beckett land. All right. Naganadel. I've pulled a few of these, and they always have really, really amazing cut and centering and quality and stuff. So, if I had to say that doesn't have 10 centering, maybe because it's, I mean, if I had to play devil's advocate, no, it's kind of hard to play devil's advocate. I think that's perfect. Let's see if it has any. I mean, this could be a black label candidate if the centering is perfect and there's no notching anywhere, because they'll get you on that. They're not going to destroy you if there's like this factory notching up here or anywhere that plagues cards sometimes. They're not going to destroy you over it, but they consider like part of the cut sometimes. But they will find it. Famously, my Pokemon Go Spanish Radiant Charizard graded a 9.5, but it has some rough top edge. It must have gotten a 9. It didn't have subs, but that thing was beat up. But I think they consider like part of the cut. So there are certain characteristics of cards that they will allow for if they know the set did the same thing. Got to get pretty technical at that point. The back of this, I mean, it looks fantastic. Every time I see some dust, it's just dust. Oh, it's pushed down a little bit, yeah. So let's look at the back. I mean the front again. Is that pushed down? In my opinion, not. It's just pushed down on the back a little bit. So, possible 10. I don't see anything wrong with that card. All right, we got a Glaceon here. A couple of fire. The next 3 cards are fire, so I would stick around or just scroll forward. This looks fantastic. I was super happy to pull this one. That centering to me qualifies as perfect. That's 10 centering to me for Beckett. I don't say that about a lot of my cards, but the reason the cards are in this pile is because they're fantastic. Looking clean on top. A couple reasons I do this is to document and like test myself to see like later if I did make good decisions in setting and stuff. That looks amazing. Like that's a 10 candidate for sure. You imagine getting a 10 Glaceon GX, and like I like it because it's in Spanish. It's beautiful. Yep. Yeah, to test myself, to test the grading companies to make sure, you know, people say, oh, I didn't send that card in. They must have messed it up or something. All those things. Spanish Hospitalidad de Erika. Actually, this was a CGC 9, and I have a video of me busting this out. Definitely gonna get this in a Beckett slab. I think the centering could be pushed up a little bit, but also sometimes trainer cards have a thicker bottom than a top because of that entrenador partidario, like a trainer supporter thing. Look on the back. To me, on the back, that's a lot of just junk and stuff, dust. It doesn't look pushed up. I mean, maybe the tiniest bit, but that looks fantastic. And that got a CGC 9, like maybe a 9.5. I get it, but like a 9, unless there's something that I'm not seeing. That's a regrade for sure. So these are 2 cards I recently bought. I bought this on eBay. I've been waiting for this card. I've been waiting. See, I didn't pull this. I bought it, and it's hard to find. So I'm not thinking it's a 10. Trust me. But it's getting Beckett graded. I think the centering is like 9. It's very top. It's very bottom heavy. Not super crazy, but I think it's going to get a 9 centering. Actually, the left and right don't look horrible. So, and I think this card had some stuff on the bottom. It's very hard to see because it's so shiny. I can't remember where this card might have had like some bite marks on it, like some factory just edging. Yeah, it's not 100% clean like you can see right there. Sometimes when you put your finger or something behind it, you can tell. It's not bad though. It is not bad. I mean, that is a nice card. So that may get a 9.5, maybe like a weak 9.5. The edging looks fantastic on the back. Yeah, sorry if I'm just like stalling out, it's because I'm looking. This video is kind of for myself more than my audience, because I know this bores people to tears. And then this is also one I bought. This is gonna go with my Charizard UPC alt art of Charizard fighting Mewtwo. Now I got Mewtwo fighting Charizard. Someone sold this because they inadvertently opened a tin. They thought it was in English, and then the packs inside were Spanish, and she pulled a Mewtwo. And she sold it, and I bought it. So, this card, the centering looks better than a lot of Crown Zenith that I've seen. By the way, this is a beautiful card. Look at this. I mean, so beautiful. That is so nice. It does have some edging, though, like some just like black kind of stuff to it. Also, like the foil silvering sort of edging that the UPCs had. Also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this. It's pretty hard to see. It's almost impossible to see, but right there, which you cannot see. I know you can't see it. It has like a little, not as far as to say damage, but it does have a little bit of a push right there. So I'd say this card gets a 9. I think my Charizard is going to do better. I'd love the Charizard to grade better than a 9. But they're in different orders, so they're going to be on a wall one day together, little buddies. And those are the 11 cards I'm sending in. It's taking Beckett about 50 business days right now for collector's stuff. So basically, this is going to be a while. Thanks for watching the whole video. I'm sure you scrolled a lot through the video, but I don't blame you. This is more for myself. But tell me which card you like. Tell me which shot has the best at a Black Label 10. Which card you like the least. Which card you like the most. And thanks for giving me 20 minutes of your life. Thanks for checking in. It's Dark Benji 151 checking out.